14 Evil Places of Middle-earth. Lord of the Rings. Middle-earth is a land of incredible beauty and light, but it is also home to places steeped in darkness, cursed lands where evil has long taken root. These locations are filled with danger, twisted histories, and malevolent forces. Whether it's an ancient city forgotten by time or a cursed mountain where terrifying creatures dwell, these places carry stories of despair, treachery, and destruction. In this video, we'll be diving into 14 of the most evil and haunting places in Middle-earth, places that every brave soul would want to avoid. 1. The Land of Darkness. Mordor is perhaps the most infamous of all the evil places in Middle-earth. This black, desolate land is ruled by Sauron, the Dark Lord, and is the location of Mount Doom, where the One Ring was forged and where it must be destroyed. The land itself is a twisted reflection of Sauron's evil. Its sky perpetually covered in ash, the ground cracked and barren, and the air filled with the stench of sulfur. The Black Gate guards the entrance to this realm, where only the brave or foolish dare to tread. Its very name is synonymous with evil and despair, as all who venture there do so at their peril. 2. A Haunted Passage. Beneath the White Mountains lies a dark and forbidding passage known as the Paths of the Dead. This eerie underground route is cursed and haunted by the spirits of the Oathbreakers men who swore loyalty to Isildur during the War of the Last Alliance, but failed to honor their pledge. As punishment, Isildur cursed them to remain in the mortal world, bound to the Paths of the Dead until they fulfilled their oath. These restless spirits wander the tunnels waiting for a leader to command them. The journey through these dark and twisted corridors is not for the faint-hearted, and it is only through great courage that Aragorn was able to harness their power to defeat the forces of Sauron. 3. The Black Pit. Once a thriving dwarven city, Moria now lies in ruin, overtaken by darkness and evil. The entrance is marked by the West Gate, which bears the famous riddle, "Speak, friend, and enter." But those who do not know the answer are doomed to face the terror within. Deep in the mines of Moria, the Balrog, an ancient demon of fire and shadow, lies in wait. This monstrous creature destroyed Moria's inhabitants and drove the dwarves out of their home. The Fellowship of the Ring's journey through Moria was a perilous one, and Gandalf's sacrifice to defeat the Balrog remains one of the most haunting moments in Middle-earth history. The dark corridors of Moria are still plagued by orcs, trolls, and other creatures that thrive in the darkness, making it a truly evil place to explore. 4. The Dark Tower. Barad-dûr, the Dark Tower, is the very heart of Sauron's power and a symbol of his tyranny over Middle-earth. Standing tall and foreboding in the land of Mordor, this massive structure was built by Sauron to house the Eye of Sauron, the embodiment of his malevolent will. The tower is surrounded by lava flows, mountains, and an aura of fear, representing the oppression of all who live under Sauron's reign. Even after the fall of the Dark Lord, the shadow of Barad-dûr lingers, a reminder of his dark influence and the corruption he left behind. 5. The Black Forest of Fangorn. Fangorn Forest, though not evil in the traditional sense, holds its own eerie power. Ancient and untamed, this forest is home to the Ents, the shepherds of the trees, but it also harbors many dark secrets. The deep shadows of the forest hide creatures who have long lived in isolation, and it is said that few who wander too far into its depths ever return. The trees themselves have witnessed countless wars, and their memory stretches back to the First Age. The forest is a place of primal forces, and the presence of the Ents, while protective, only adds to the intimidating atmosphere. 6. The Land of Lost Souls. The Dead Marshes, located near the borders of Mordor, are a desolate and ominous landscape. These swampy wetlands are the resting place of fallen soldiers from past wars, their bodies preserved in the stagnant waters. Their ghostly lights, known as will-o'-the-wisps, lure the unwary into the marshes, causing them to drown or lose their way forever. The air is thick with the stench of decay, and the land itself seems to whisper with the voices of the lost. Frodo and Sam had to cross these marshes on their journey to Mordor, and their passage was a haunting experience, as they were constantly surrounded by the voices of the dead. 7. The Land of the Barrow-wights. The Barrow Downs are a mysterious and eerie region near the Old Forest. These hills are filled with ancient burial mounds, where long-dead kings and warriors rest. However, The Barrow Downs are far from peaceful. The spirits of those buried within the mounds are restless and malevolent, haunting the land in the form of barrow wights. These wights can control the weather, summoning fogs and chilling winds to trap travelers in their grasp. It was here that Frodo and his companions were nearly ensnared by the wights before Tom Bombadil came to their rescue. It served as a reminder of the power of the dead and the dangerous forces lurking beneath the surface. 8. The home of darkness and death. Deep within the mountains of Mordor lies the lair of Shelob, the giant spider that dwells in the darkness. Far from the prying eyes of the world, Shelob is an ancient creature, descended from Ungoliant, the primordial being that consumed the light of the two trees. Shelob's lair is a place of death and decay, a labyrinth of webs and shadows where she feeds on anything foolish enough to wander into her domain. Sam and Frodo had the misfortune of encountering Shelob during their quest to destroy the One Ring. Shelob is not just a monstrous spider, she is a force of pure malice, an embodiment of darkness that preys on the weak. 9. The heart of evil. Mount Doom is not only an evil place in its own right, but also the location where the One Ring was forged. The mountain itself is a symbol of Sauron's power, an active volcano that churns with molten lava and erupts with terrifying regularity. It is within Mount Doom's fiery depths that the fate of Middle-earth will be decided, as Frodo must take the One Ring there to destroy it. The land around Mount Doom is a bleak and barren wasteland, consumed by the fires of the volcano and haunted by the oppressive presence of Sauron. It is here that the battle between light and dark will reach its ultimate conclusion. 10. The portal to Mordor. The Black Gate is the formidable entrance to Mordor, and a place of great significance in the history of Middle-earth. Guarded by countless orcs and other dark forces, the gate is a symbol of Sauron's iron control over the land. The gate is not just a physical barrier, but a representation of the oppressive nature of the Dark Lord's reign. It stands as an unyielding monument to the power of evil, and any who dare to attempt to breach it must face an army of fearsome foes. The gate itself is a reminder of the shadow that Sauron casts over the land. 11. The Fortress of the Necromancer. Dol Guldur is an ancient and forgotten fortress in the forest of Mirkwood, where the Dark Lord Sauron hid his power for many years before rising again. Once home to the Necromancer, a shadowy figure who would later be revealed as Sauron, Dol Guldur is a place of darkness and malevolence. The fortress is surrounded by twisted trees and thick, oppressive fog, creating an atmosphere of fear and foreboding. The very air around Dol Guldur seems to carry the weight of centuries of evil, and the fortress is a reflection of the twisted sorcery and dark magic that emanates from its walls. 12. The Tower of Saruman. Isengard, home to Saruman the White, was once a place of great beauty and learning. However, after Saruman's fall to corruption and his lust for power, Isengard became a dark and twisted place. The once great Tower of Orthanc is now surrounded by an army of orcs, Uruk-hai, and other foul creatures, as Saruman sought to build his own army to rival that of Sauron. The forest around Isengard, once lush and vibrant, is now reduced to a barren wasteland, chopped down to fuel Saruman's war machine. Isengard stands as a testament to the corruption of power and the lengths to which Saruman went to achieve his evil goals. 13. The Land of Forgotten Battles. The Dead Marshes, located near the borders of Mordor, are a desolate and eerie landscape. These swampy wetlands are the resting place of fallen soldiers from past wars, their bodies preserved in the stagnant waters. Their ghostly lights, known as will-o'-the-wisps, lure the unwary into the marshes, causing them to drown or lose their way forever. The air is thick with the stench of decay, and the land itself seems to whisper with the voices of the lost. 14. A Place of Darkness. Although it might be surprising, even the Shire, usually seen as a peaceful, idyllic haven, has its dark moments. While the Shire is mostly untouched by the great evils of Middle-earth, its very peacefulness makes it a potential target for dark forces. Saruman's industrialization and the presence of the Nazgûl in later years disturbed the quiet of the Shire, showing that no place, no matter how small or innocent, is safe from the reach of evil. Middle-earth is a land of contrast, where beauty and darkness exist side by side. These 14 places are among the most evil in the land, each filled with its own terrifying history and dark secrets. Whether they are ruled by dark lords cursed by ancient deeds, or simply tainted by malevolent forces, they serve as constant reminders that evil can find a place to take root anywhere. Would you dare to venture into these dangerous realms? Thanks for joining us on this dark journey through Middle-earth. Be sure to subscribe for more tales of ancient realms, untold secrets, and shadowed histories. Until next time, here on Hidden Kingdoms.